Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I was reading in chapter 26 some of these transforming ideas, if you will, where we're being invited to change our minds about, well, everything, right? But to completely change the thinking from the thinking of the world to this entirely new way of thinking, to new thought, if you will. And some of these ideas are challenging in the sense of they challenge you to completely reverse what you believed was true and challenge you to accept these new ideas and let them find a place among your thoughts so that you will learn to think differently and free yourself from your old thoughts, right? Because old thought is what binds you to this world, new thought is what sets you free. Listen to this one. It says, anything in this world that you believe is good and valuable and worth striving for can hurt you and will do so. True. Absolutely true. And I love, he's going to explain to you why. But think about it. Let that idea sink in for a moment and let it find a place among your thoughts. Anything in this world that you believe is good and valuable and worth striving for can hurt you and will do so. And you immediately go like, now what am I striving for, right? Not because it has the power to hurt, but just because you have denied it is but an illusion and made it real. Right? Illusions will hurt you. They are just as strong in their effect as the truth. But the truth won't hurt you, but illusions will, right? And every time you accept an illusion as true, an idol will fall and you will weep, right? And you'll be disappointed. Until what? You start to see that everything here is an illusion and you'll stop striving for it. Instead, you're going to be striving for the truth. You're going to let that mindset take hold and just you want to remember your father. And it says, and it is real to you. It is not nothing. I love that. He's go like, well, you go walk around and you can say, well, this is all an illusion and it's all, it's not real. And that is true, but it's, he says that you can say that, but whether that's actually true, that's another thing, right? He says, no, no, let's look at it. This is not nothing to you. It is real to you, right? And through its perceived reality has entered all the world of sick illusions. I love that, right? All believe in sin, in power of attack, in hurt and harm, in sacrifice and death has come to you, for no one can make one illusion real and still escape the rest. Right? As long as you make one illusion real, you'll make all of them real. You can't just accept some of them and reject the rest. You'll either accept them all or reject them all. That's how this new way of thinking works. Right? It's a different way of thinking, right? It's whole. Right? Either you forgive everyone or there's someone that you're not willing to forgive and then forgiveness becomes impossible. Right? One exception held apart from two perception makes its accomplishment anywhere impossible. It's a different way of learning, right? You're learning that there are no exceptions to A Course in Miracles. There are no exceptions to these new ideas, and that if you make an exception, that's where you'll basically reject the entire Course in Miracles. And then the moment you see that, you go like, "Oops," and you change your mind again. Beautiful. So these are some great ideas. Um, he says, this is a Course in Miracles. As such, the laws of healing must be understood before the purpose of the Course can be accomplished. Right? So the first thing is, all sickness comes from separation. Let it sink in for a moment. Right? It's like these are new ideas. This is not how the world thinks. This is not how you've thought up to this moment. So this is an entirely new idea. Maybe you already accepted that within your mind or are used to that idea. Maybe this is completely new to you. All sickness comes from separation. You go like, no, that can't be true, right? No, there's got to be some other circumstances Maybe I just got unlucky, or maybe I had a bad lifestyle, or maybe this, or maybe that. All sickness comes from the belief in separation. Again, this is an entirely new way of thinking, right? This is the opposite of the thinking of the world. The two thought systems do not meet, right? You're either going to accept the one and reject the other, or vice versa, right? But you can't partially accept the truth and part of illusions, right? Truth is true and nothing else is true, right? When the separation is denied, it goes. Love it. What's one of the lessons? Only salvation can be said to cure. He doesn't think of a sickness as something that needs a remedy. He thinks of sickness, and this is true. Sickness is the idea that you think you're separate from source. That's what sickness is. The mind that thinks it's separate from source is sick. Obviously, it's not separate from source. You can't possibly be separate from source. But that's where the idea of sickness comes from. It's an idea. Whether it's experienced as physical is completely irrelevant, right? It's the healing lies in the acceptance of your own wholeness, if you will. All sickness comes from separation. When the separation is denied, it goes. For it is gone as soon as the idea that brought it has been healed and been replaced by sanity. Sickness and sin are seen as consequent and cause in a relationship kept hidden from awareness that it may be carefully preserved from reason's light, right? It looks like sickness is something that's happening to you. It looks like maybe you can find some reasons why you got sick, maybe not. But the reason really is ultimately sickness is a belief in separation. Once you accept that salvation is your only cure, because salvation is the acceptance of your own wholeness and denial of separation, the sickness goes. It has no choice, because sickness is simply an idea. It's the idea that you think you're separate from source. You're not. But see how nice that is, that you can just change your mind, even if it takes a little practice, even if you forget for a moment. You change your mind and you're healed. Amazing. Perception's law are opposite to truth. And what is true of knowledge is not true of anything that is apart from it. Yet God has given answer to the world of sickness, which applies to all its forms. God's answer is eternal, though it works in time, where it is needed. Yet because it is of God, the laws of time do not affect its working. I love that, right? Salvation doesn't take time. Healing doesn't take time. Changing your mind is, the effects of changing your mind is immediate, right? It is in this world but not part of it, for it is real and dwells where all reality must be. Listen to this. Ideas leave not their source, right? It's one of the central core ideas of our Course in Miracles. Ideas leave not their source. If you think you're separate from God, that's still part of your mind. It has nowhere to go, right? Ideas leave not their source and their effects, but seem to be apart from them. True. Ideas are of the mind. True. What is projected out and seems to be external to the mind is not outside at all, but an effect of what is within and has not left its source. And again, here's the idea of that world that seems to be separate from you and outside of you. But it's an idea that you projected out from you. It's your idea that can't possibly leave your source. So it's still in your mind, although it seems to be out because you somehow projected it out there. But it's still in your mind, right? Love that, right? So it has nowhere to go. Ideas cannot leave your source. So this is where the necessity for that change of mind comes in. Because how will you know that it's not outside of you? Change your mind. Love it. Include it in, if you will. Amazing. It is impossible that one illusion be less amenable to truth than are the rest. But it is possible that some are given greater value, and less willingly offered to the truth for healing and for help. This is true, right? You're more willing to give up some ideas than others. Those that are valuable to you, you're less willing to give up. No illusion has any truth in it. I love it. I love these whole statements, right? Like my mind, it's almost like your mind craves them. When you're waking up, your mind craves these whole ideas, right? It's like you just soak them in and you let them find a place in your mind. No illusion has any truth in it, yet it appears some are more true than others, although this clearly makes no sense at all. All that a hierarchy of illusions can show is preference, not reality. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. Why not? Because an illusion is an illusion is an illusion. One illusion is not harder to correct than another illusion. One sickness is not harder to heal than another sickness. One person is not harder to forgive than another person. It's just your personal opinion, your personal preference. That is what makes it harder or easier. But they're all the same. Amazing. What relevance has preference to the truth? Illusions are false. Your preference gives them no reality. Love it. What an amazing idea. These are some great ideas, right? It says, salvation is immediate. Unless you so perceive it, you'll be afraid of it, believing that the risk of loss is great between the time its purpose is made yours and its effect will come to you, right? Yes, I can have salvation now, but what do I do in the meantime? What about this? What about that? What about all the establishments that I've set up in my world that are supposed to keep me safe? What about my job? What about my family? What about my relationships? What about the money? What about the possessions? What about the... And you have all these things that you think are going to make you safe, all the laws that you set up for yourself, and all they do is actually make you sick and make you oblivious to the truth, right? I love how uncompromising A Course in Miracles is and how you're being confronted with your own denial all the time. And it's not talking to anyone else, correct? It's always just talking to me, right? And it's always challenging me in my beliefs. And it's always showing me exactly where I think I'm still holding on to old ideas and then inviting me to let go. And until that lesson is learned, the lesson keeps coming back in different forms, right? And maybe you've noticed that, how the same lesson keeps coming back in different forms until what? It is learned. Because finally there's only one single lesson. The lesson is God's Son is whole and perfect, right? That's the lesson. But it comes in many, many forms. Love it. What an amazing idea. The plans you make for safety are all laid within the future, where you cannot plan. I love it because he says, listen, the time now is the only time there is. The future is not yet. You can't plan for it. You have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. But because you do, you overlook the now completely, and now is the only time there is. And therefore, you live in what's already over and gone. Love it. No purpose has been given it as yet. That's the future. And will happen, and what will happen has as yet no cause. I love it, right? Who can predict effects without a cause, right? He says, what happens in the future does not have a cause in the present, right? I love it. And who could fear effects unless he thought they had been caused and judges disasters now? Love it. Believe in sin arouses fear, and like its cause is looking forward, looking back, but overlooking what is here and now. Right? The reason why is it that you plan for the future? Because you use your past learning. You have learned that there is lack. You have learned that there are dangers. You have learned that you need to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you'll lack, you'll be hurting, you'll be there, you're experiencing loss. So that's why you plan for the future. So you can provide safety for yourself. But it's that problem, the reason why you're doing that needs correction. That belief in lack, in loss, in hurt, right? In attack, that needs to go. But that all comes from a past learning that what? Was never true. Because here in the present is everything provided for you. But the most scariest thing is to be standing here in the present and not make any plans at all. Instead, trust completely in your source. That takes a little learning because you're so used to depending on your own establishment in this world, right? All the laws that you set up for yourself in space-time, that you think is going to protect you. They're not. They're not going to protect you, right? As a matter of fact, that's what death is. So here in the present, in this very moment, is everything. And so the whole Course in Miracles then becomes a practice of coming in the here and now, letting it all go, right? Is it scary? Maybe, for a moment, correct? But you're learning to trust that. You're learning to trust the light. You're learning to trust that you're perfectly taken care of in your awakening. If that takes a little practice, so be it, right? But you eventually will come to that point where you go like, I am perfect and whole right here and now. I am perfectly taken care of. I'm stepping back and letting him lead the way. And I know that in that particular plan that is set up for me, right, without me trying to determine what it should be, right, is all the care and all the freedom and all the peace that has been promised me since time began. That's what it is, right? And it's in that your vibration is being raised and you experience your own wholeness. What an amazing idea. Because this is your awakening. This is your transformation. This is an entirely new reality that you're stepping into. And it will not look like it did. And it cannot look what it did. And one of the most amazing lines that I remember, and I'm paraphrasing here from A Course in Miracles, is heaven goes with you on your way to heaven. Right? The entire universe rushes in to help you make that step if you're willing to trust that for one moment. So these are some amazing ideas from chapter 26. Be not content with future happiness. It has no meaning and it is not your just reward, for you have cause for freedom now. Right? If only this were different, I'm going to be happy. Right? If only that were different. If only I had a relationship, only had money, if only I had a good job, I only have this, and it will never happen. Because happiness can only be experienced right here, right now. Great ideas. And they're always just an invitation to step it up. Always just an invitation to accept it. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I love you. I hope you have a great, great day wherever and whenever you are. And I'll see you everywhere.